UL 9540 is the standard for safety of energy storage systems and equipment. UL 9540 can cover a variety of types of systems from electrochemical, chemical, mechanical, or thermal. UL 9540 is also a system listing, meaning that individual parts and pieces of equipment are not considered to be UL 9540 listed on their own. To obtain UL 9540, the energy storage system must be evaluated and tested for compliance with the standard. I can tell you UL did not do the industry any favors by naming them so similar. First, it is important that we understand UL 9540A is merely a test method for compliance. It is performed on technologies to understand the thermal properties and evaluate thermal runaway, fire propagation of a product or energy storage system. On the other hand, UL 9540 is a safety standard and a system listing for energy storage systems and equipment. UL 9540 references UL 9540A, and to meet some portions of UL 9540, an energy storage system must have acceptable UL 9540A test results. If a product has acceptable UL 9540A test results, that does not automatically mean that it will meet the requirements as a system for UL 9540 listing. Having UL 9540A acceptable results for energy storage system larger than 50 kWh allows all battery racks or DC technology cabinets to be side by side, taking up less footprint. The DC technology in question must have acceptable UL 9540A test results, and those full test reports must be provided for review to the engineer of record, the EOR, and authorities having jurisdiction, the AHJs. NFPA855 is a standard for installation of stationary energy storage systems. In general, NFPA855 states any energy storage device, especially lithium-ion, over 20 kilowatt hours, shall be certified to UL 9540 and tested to UL 9540A with acceptable results. In recent years, UL and NFPA855 have considered a UPS system to be an energy storage system and therefore now subject to UL 9540 requirements. NFPA 855 is a guiding fire safety standard. UL 9540 is the system safety listing for compliance. UL 9540A is a standardized test method for thermal runaway fire propagation. The trifecta of safety, as I call them, the safest energy storage systems attain all three of these stay up to date on codes and standards. Unfortunately, as standards and codes and listings are adopted and new revisions are published, local AHJs and regional fire codes can be slow to adopt the latest revisions. In some areas of the country, NFPA 855 is not yet required, and local AHJs in some instances have the authority to override or not adopt the latest standards and codes. This makes standard and code compliance for fire safety somewhat complicated throughout the United States. Many different types of energy storage systems are required to meet UL 9540 standards to be NFPA 855 compliant, and those requirements vary depending on what kind of system it is. A UL compliant system could be a bidirectional inverter with VRLA batteries that is not classified as a UPS system, or a UPS system with supercapacitors. VRLA and lead acid batteries are included under certain stipulations in UL 9540. They are typically still exempt from having to meet the stringent fire safety standards requirements that other DC technologies do. In NFPA 855, there were some new requirements, but those are implemented at the discretion of the AHJ. Per UL 9540 3rd edition 1.5, systems using lead acid or NiCad batteries that only serve a UPS system application are outside the scope of this standard. What this means is if VRLA batteries are used with a UL 1778 UPS system in application, they are exempt from the UL 9540 standard. For a UPS system to receive UL 9540 listing, it requires testing, validation, and verification by UL, or a UL nationally recognized and approved testing agency. Remember, the key to this is that UPS and DC technologies are tested, validated, and verified together as an energy storage system. The DC technology should have been tested, approved results to UL 9540A, if applicable, and be UL listed to appropriate standards and listings, such as UL 1973, a required listing for many batteries and DC technologies. Once the UPS system, including the UPS and DC technology, is successfully tested and verified and validated for the evaluation, only then will the system be listed on the UL Product IQ page as being UL 9540 system listed and certified. In the UL or ETL database, the certification should be categorized under the FTBW category code for energy storage systems. Once it is certified, the process is more project specific. The final testing and evaluation for UL 9540 listing and labeling happens at the site of the installation. This location could be at the integrator for the containerized solution or at the end customer's site. Mitsubishi Electric can help coordinate the UL inspector, list the site as a temporary manufacturing location, and help apply UL 9540 labels to the system. All parties will need to coordinate and make sure the necessary documentation is provided to UL and that process is successful. Mitsubishi Electric is here to answer all your questions regarding UPS systems and the standards they are held to. Thank you for your time today.